But I'm like maniacal about vocal health on tour, man. You know, like the tea and the honey, just all day tea and honey.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, my regime, which is probably really unhealthy, is just not no eat. Don't eat until after the gig. All
really?
day. Yeah,
Huh. Well, I guess that's a sort of safe bet, right? I
just
mean,
to
you're
be
not,
sort
you
of
know.
really sort of like monk-like about it.
Yeah, man. I mean, vocal rest is something that I didn't used to do, but I was very serious about. It's annoying and people think you're pretentious, you know, and you're like not speaking, but like
Yeah,
just not saying shit except muttering a little bit for like 6 hours is
yeah,
very good for the voice.
yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, we both do very vocal based music, man. I mean, well, there's so many components to what you do, but it's like, I mean, your voice is like really front and center with your solo stuff.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean, you're like a powerhouse vocalist, man, right? I would say.
I embarrassed myself on multiple occasions. Yeah, I'm not a powerhouse. No, not yet.
But okay, but you feel like you're working toward powerhouse, like that word. You're down with the word, right? Powerhouse vocalist.
Yeah, I'm down with the word. I just feel like I'm not good enough yet.
I
I'm
don't
just
know. I mean,
there's like a there's a place that's far above me, like a galaxy's distance far above me, and I'm just trying to, and I can't get there yet.
huh? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, that's a. So yeah, you feel like, I mean, do you actually do practice singing? I don't exactly, but like, do you do like, you don't do like exercises and shit, do you?
No, 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 no. Like if there's something I like, say if there's like I might like sing along to a song to like sort of if I want to if I want to sort of increase my range. I can remember when I started sort of like, in my late 20s thinking, okay, I want to write my own songs because I was in bands for ages and I was like, okay, well I'm gonna sort of sing a bit more. And so then I just sort of just sang along to just Bowie,
Yeah.
like all the 70s stuff. I just sort of learned how to sing it and that sort of or like just finding stuff like Peter Gabriel or even like Kate Bush,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
just sort of try and push. So yeah, I've not really studied technique, but I've just sort of sang along to a lot of records to try and sort of work out how they're
Yeah.
doing things. Like
Yeah.
I've
Yeah. Yeah.
recently tried to look into using something called like they call it like glottal compression to sort of manage your airflow.
Huh.
So I've sort of been over the last sort of month or so been like looking into that and how you because I'm not very good at like holding like long. I want to be able to hold like longer phrases. So that's
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so you're gonna have to hip us to that because yeah, I
yeah,
mean, I definitely hear Peter Gabriel. It's yeah, actually not just as a well, he has a similar timbre to your
yeah,
voice and way of singing, but and also your songwriting and the production and stuff is like
yeah,
totally like
totally.
yeah,
I mean the first like 4 albums up to the security one.
yeah.
You know, the one with the sort of weird inside out head.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
I sort of know. The one I really know is Melt, or
yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
if they call
yeah.
it Melt with no self control on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the first like four Gabriel albums are just like just in just ingrained in my DNA.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And
Because
obviously
it's yeah,
Genesis as well, like Foxtrot by Genesis. Like that was a really early, like when I was like probably like 10 years old. Like my dad like played me like Foxtrot.
okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. So your dad was hip to
Yeah,
like, so your dad has good taste in music,
yeah,
shaped your
yeah,
vibe a little bit.
yeah. I'm really quite lucky that that I'm just he's just he never like forced it on me, but he was just always playing good stuff, and he's got like shitloads of vinyl as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, Genesis, I can't really. I mean, I don't dislike it, but there's like barriers to entry. I feel
Yeah.
like for me of just like I don't know, like I've been giving it more of a chance ever since I got over my like Prog denial,
From denial.
well, just like denying that I just make Prog, you know, like
Yeah.
that because like I was trying to be cool like back in the day I was really trying to, whereas now like on this tour, when some random person's like, oh, what kind of music do you play, I'm just like Prog, it's Prog.
Yeah. So like, because I mean, like Foxtrot is like the last track of Foxtrot, Supper's Ready. Like that's such a, a monolith of UK prog. And so you'd never heard that until like recently.
I mean, I had always heard it back in the day, but I just
Yeah,
never. I,
sort of
I don't
got
know. It just doesn't land. I don't know. I don't. I like. I don't know what it is. I mean, there's just. I think probably it'll keep growing on me over the years. Just
so what's your favorite prog then? Just real off
uh,
that you were
my
into when you
favorite
were.
prog. What? So it's got to be '70s prog. We're talking like classic.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I guess like the first King Crimson record. Actually, I like
I mean,
because it's
that was really early. That was
yeah,
early for me as well.
it's like '69, and then that King Crimson record Thrack. I like. I guess
Yeah,
that's more '80s or whatever.
yeah,
I mean, I love those guitar players for sure. I mean, they're all I don't know, close to the edge. Yes,
yeah, yeah,
I like. Yeah, that goes pretty hard. That goes pretty
yeah.
hard. But but as far as that Peter Gabriel shit though, I mean, I love yeah, your stuff reminds me of him. Forget about even well, let's not forget about the singing. But in addition to the singing, I mean, your stuff does have that vibe where it's like very melodically like it's really, see, I know organic can be like this sort of like vague word that people use like whatever, but oh, here, I'm gonna switch to this view. I like that better. Look at my dumb fucking face. Here, I'm gonna back up so we're equal size. But but yeah, like the like it's like organic, like melodically it doesn't sound forced, complex, but you always have these little like rhythmic, like it's not I don't know, there's like little extra beats and stuff, like quirks and twists and turns, like stuff that yeah, like you wouldn't read as prog, but like there's a vibe of like coming out of like, I don't know, compositional something, you
Oh
know what I
yeah, yeah,
mean?
definitely. Like so that mechanical star god track, like that's like in seven. That's like 7 beat cycle.
Yeah,
So
yeah, 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 it feels natural though, it's
yeah,
just, but
yeah. Like, when I wrote that track, I was just like, well, okay, it's in an alternate tuning.
oh yeah. I was psyched to hear you just like do the whole process, like walk us
So,
through the
so I was
process.
just like, I just came up with that riff.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to write something in seven now. I just sort of, my ears tend to naturally sort of go to those sort of things anyway, though.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 totally.
It feels way more easier for me to write music that's in those sort of meters than to like four is really really difficult.
Is
Actually,
it okay? Yeah, yeah, that's
yeah.
cool. I mean, that's a cool because
To write something simple, simple, in 4/4 that that's just got that sort of what's the word? That clarity
yeah,
where it just is.
right, right, right.
It's just like you're trying to create smoke in like a without fire. That's what it's like. It's
Yeah,
yeah.
that's sick. I sort of, I actually don't know if I know what you mean. I mean, this metaphor, um, that's a sick. Okay, yeah, like for you writing in 4/4, right? It feels
Yeah,
like
like just writing something that's a simple, clear tune. That's where just every note is where it should be,
Yeah.
you know, or where, or you know, or where you're writing something where it just doesn't feel like you've had to force the thing into being. You've just sort of you've just pulled it
Yeah,
out.
yeah. See, yeah, it's cool to hear you say this because I kind of one of the things that I dislike about a lot of prog, or especially a lot of what '90s like quote unquote like math rock. A lot of what I don't like about a lot of that kind of stuff is that it often feels forced in the sense of a lot of stuff feels like it should have been in 4/4.
Mm.
Like it sounds like someone came up with a 4/4 riff and then just like snipped off. They just like circumcised like an eighth note off of it or
Yeah,
something just to make it tricky.
yeah.
And that always I even though I don't know how people write stuff, but, but a lot of the time like it just sounds like this clever like ooh it's not in 4/4, which
Mm.
is different. It's a very different thing than when your stuff where it's just like it just naturally sounds like it just should be what it is, and
Mm.
it doesn't have that vibe of like you wrote something normal and then trimmed off a beat. It has that vibe of something kind of stumbling over
Mm.
itself, or like sort of it is like forward motion, like the asymmetry of the rhythmic
Yeah.
stuff makes it like move forward, not like
Well, yeah. It feels like it's sort of going like this.
like not like stumbling, but kind of like skipping, like taking an extra step forward,
Yeah.
or kind of like there's a momentum to it, like especially in that
It doesn't
track.
feel lurched.
Yes, totally.
But
That
a lot of like early music, it a lot of it is in those sort of odd meters like fives and sevens, and it does tend to have a more sort of a very sort of propulsive sort of the way it sort of moves through space. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. You're saying early music, like
Yeah,
as
yeah,
in early music. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Well, that's what I kind of, yeah, like this is a thing where I'm like with my stuff with the quote unquote mathy elements. For me, like a lot of that comes from vocal stuff,
Mm.
which is very fluid. It's like fluid to me, and then
Mm.
once you put drums to it, it's like becomes less fluid and becomes more
Mm.
like jerky and like math
Mm.
math 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 math. But like, but the core of it is a fluidity, not a rigidity and stuff. But see, your shit's like actually a catchy over the weird rhythms. I mean, I would say Mechanical Star God. I mean, you got a lot of great tracks. That's like the hit, right? Or is that kind of the big banger for you?
Well,
I don't know. For me, it is. I mean,
yeah. I mean, for you, it is. I mean, the I don't think there is a hit. I mean, I'm really, really, really unknown. So
man, I'm not just blowing smoke. I kind of think your shit could get like actually huge, but I mean, I don't trust the world to know what's good, so I'm not like
yeah,
I don't like literally necessarily think it's gonna happen. But so many of these tracks, I'm like, I could really see that in like the end of like a Stranger Things episode, or like just some like big like
sing.
yeah, man. I mean, I could see it's I don't know, like even like the weird rhythms, man. It's like it's there's definitely accessibility. Although you got like a lot of noisy production too, but people can get with that, man. People, they're like there's like an industrial element, right? I mean, how into industrial music are you? Because you've got like some
I
hard.
mean, like ridiculously like. So I'm from like Rotherham, which is in South Yorkshire, and
Yeah.
that's basically um, like it's like Sheffield because like Sheffield where the the Human League, Cabaret Voltaire,
Uh,
Plot DVA started. That's in Sheffield. So all that sort of music, you know,
mm-hmm.
that sort of Sheffield post punk stuff. I was just listening to these people like a kid.
Yeah, that's like that's like
That's
New
the
York. That's like New York hardcore to you. That's like
yeah
the
yeah
local,
yeah
right? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah
Um, That's way sicker than New York hardcore, dude. Let's face the facts, man. But as far as music, yeah, music from your region that you personally love, and there's like a local tradition. I didn't actually know like Sheffield. I don't know all the details of which towns like sparked which. We had a great show in Sheffield. Yeah, super cool.
But
But
yeah,
yeah,
like
yeah,
industrial music, yeah, just it's something that's just so far in my DNA. I can't really, it feels inextricable, really.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
so like as well as like the cabs and Clock DVA and TG, Coil, Einsteins and Neubauten.
Hell yeah, man. I mean, Coil is very, very important to me. I have to admit, Clock DVA, always heard the name. Never checked them out, actually.
Oh,
But
dude. Oh, well. Oh, you need to. You got a pen there?
yeah, actually, yeah. We
Yeah.
got okay.
So,
All right,
uh,
Clock DVA, right? Okay.
yeah, you want to. I mean, the one that was really big in America was an album called Buried Dreams, but that's not really my favorite era. My favorite era is the first tape, which came out on Industrial Records.
Hmm.
It's called White Souls in Black Suits,
Right
and
on.
then you want to get their LP, um, which came out on a label called Fetish. It's got a beautiful Neville Brody sleeve, who did like all the sort of post punk. He did like 23 Skidoo and stuff like that.
Right,
Uh,
right.
yeah, First is the album you want to
Okay.
get.
All right, cool.
First is in first for a drink, not first.
Right. Do
Yeah.
yeah, like cuz I mean that's like is that like noisy early industrial
No,
or
no,
more
it's
like drum
no,
machine
no,
hard hitting like
no,
EBM
no,
type
no,
shit?
no, no, no. It's like free jazz. So they've got this really legendary like British free improvising musician. There's a guy called Charlie Collins. He was a friend of mine. He played saxophone in Clock VVA, so he played like all woodwinds,
Mm.
and then they just had drums, guitar, and bass. It's sort of like post punk, but like really fucking weird,
Yeah.
with like sort of like noirish, like sort of beat poetry lyrics. It's really great. Yeah. It's like a real lost
Okay.
like
Okay. Clock DVA, man. Yeah.
UK post
I
punk
I
album.
kind of
Yeah.
it's interesting because I was like yeah, like it I knew when I got to know you just through talking online, it was like right off, right? Like I got to know your solo music, and which is relatively recent. I
Yeah.
mean, as far as given like, and then I didn't really know all your background, so I started digging, and I was like, oh, like all right, so Karl is like actually has a background in saxophone that goes deeper, or I mean, time wise, further back
Yeah. Yeah.
than as a singer
Yeah.
and songwriter and producer and stuff. And
Yes.
and yeah, so like I just tracing your thing, I kept thinking like, oh, what are the connections? How different is it? How different is it for you? Is it a whole new direction, et cetera, et cetera? Sounds like industrial music is kind of like a pivot connector, maybe between the two. I don't.
Uh, yeah. I mean, what I'm sort of trying to do with it now is to still keep it to sort of like these very simple structured verse chorus songs, but then throw in just all the influences that I've had over a lifetime. So I'm just trying to put references in from just loads of other stuff. I'm trying. I've maybe completely swerved the question there, but
Uh,
how similar is it?
like yeah, I mean it's not like a pointed question. I was just saying that's what's bouncing around. Like I'm always
Yeah,
thinking about like how artists view like like how like because I have stuff where I just view it as like really different, and maybe an outsider could be like, oh no, it's all the same thing. But I'm like I really do have shit where I'm like I'm doing something else. you know. So I'm always wondering, like, do you feel like when you just did this vocal stuff, were you just like, fuck it, I'm doing pop music, or was it kind of like all part of the same? Like,
Not really. I mean, like my sort of my entry into playing music, like publicly, not like I've been playing music since I was like 8 years old. Um, but like I went to see Derek Bailey like play
hell
live like
yeah,
the year before he died
yeah,
in,
man,
in 2003. Um, so that completely, I was into like free jazz and stuff, but that was like my introduction to free improvisation.
yeah, yeah,
So I got into that, and then I wanted to start playing it, and so then I started playing with these sort of legendary Sheffield improvisers, like deep, heavy cats. So, they were like
yeah,
40 years older than me, basically,
yeah.
and I was like a 16-year-old kid. So I'm just going to close the door.
Sure, sure. Yeah, dude, British free improv, man, it's such a thing. What was this you were playing saxophone at this point, or you
No,
were
so
actually just on?
this was playing guitar. So I was doing that, and then I started playing the saxophone. No, I yeah, I got a clarinet when I was in my first year studying music at York, and then I was I literally just picked it up, and then the clarinet teacher at the university was this guy called Alan Hacker, who was like a really sort of he was probably like the greatest like contemporary clarinetist of the 20th century. So like he worked, he worked with Peter Maxwell Davis and Harrison Birtwick, Sullivan,
Yeah.
people like that. He was ridiculous. And anyway, he just took me on as a student, and and so I learned
That's
quite
heavy.
a lot of him. And then I picked up saxophone when I was 19.
Okay, okay, right on. Yeah, yeah.
Like, yeah, from playing guitar, over 10 years, and then the saxophone was sort of quite late in my teens.
Yeah, that is, and so, yeah, so you like that's a crazy background actually, man. I mean, to go straight. For some reason, I assumed you started with punk just because like everyone just starts. I don't know, but you started
Oh
with
no,
with
like
with Derek Bailey, man. That's I mean,
yeah. I mean, so I saw Derek play while I was. So I didn't. In the UK, you do something called A levels, and when you finish high school.
yeah,
But I didn't do that. I went to a music school in Leeds just to sort of do like a college diploma before I
hmm,
went to university. And so while I was studying in Leeds, I was getting into like Albert Ayler and John Zorn and
yeah, yeah,
all that stuff. And then that's how I got into free improvisation, was just through listening to stuff in the library there.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So, but while I was at Leeds, we were studying like hardcore classical music theory.
Yeah, yep.
And
So
then
you
also
got some
like,
of that. You got some of that in there, like
yeah,
modernist, like yeah, yeah,
and bop, like bop improvisation stuff.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So yeah, so I had to sort of learn. I mean, obviously, like I liked punk when I was a teenager and stuff, and I played all that stuff. But I never really played like in anything related to punk until I was playing in Drunken Hell, which was saxophone.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, right, right. Drunken Hell. Yeah, I checked out some of that. Which was, yeah, because Bish told me about that.
yeah,
When I hung
yeah. Oh
when
yeah, you met at the gig.
I met Bish at the gig
Yeah,
in Newcastle. If anyone, this is
yeah.
yeah, this is Bishop. He runs what's it called
Vocal tapes.
well, yeah, he runs Opal Tapes, which is a cool label. Opal Tapes put out some stuff by Luke Calzanetti, who's also been on the stream. I like to tie everything together here, but and yeah, and I met Bish because he runs the
He's a
Weber
really,
feed in
really,
town.
really dear friend of mine.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. He spoke very, very highly of you. But yeah,
yeah,
so that was his band, yeah, Drunken Hell. And so yeah, I checked out some of that. That was like really grimy, like almost reminded me of like Flipper or like the second
yeah,
like the late Black Flag or Brain Bombs or
yeah.
something.
And Brain Bombs, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
But
cool as
actually,
hell.
punk. Thinking about punk, do you know that band Siege from Boston?
Yes, yes. I
Yeah,
remember you
yeah,
saying you played some
yeah.
sax with them. Yeah.
Played with them. Yeah, did a whole tour with them. Weirdly, just playing one song, just playing Grim Reaper. They wanted a saxophone player to play Grim Reaper, and then they were like, I showed up on the first gig in Amsterdam. We were playing at that OCCI Ochi venue.
I never know how that's pronounced,
Yeah,
but
I
yeah.
don't know how to pronounce it. Um, and they were like, "Oh yeah, the last saxophone player we had before you was John Zorn," and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, that's tough to step into, man.
Yeah,
That's tough. But yeah, yeah. Yeah, man. Wait, okay, so man, because I'm like, okay, so you get into like vocal singing. I see. I wish I had asked you this earlier, but maybe we'll bring it around
yeah, yeah,
because you were
yeah.
because I was asking, do you know like like do you practice singing? I mean, it sounds like you do what I do, which is like not really trained as a singer, but like but do you practice like
No,
singing
I don't
along?
have any training at all. Yeah,
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 but you train yourself though, because you were saying you sing
yeah,
along with like Bowie and like trying to
yeah,
like
yeah.
expand your range. You said something about glottal compression.
Mm.
What is that? You said you had a technique that you learned for right? Was that what it was called?
No,
Glottal compression?
I've not learned it yet. I've been sort of doing a bit of research into it, and it's where you sort of use like the false folds to sort of because basically if you just sort of go like you're gonna run. I'm nearly at the end there of a breath.
Of the
But,
breath?
the thing is, if you sort of compress at the glottis, and it's like having those sort of tops to a water bottle where it's sort of
Oh,
yeah. So it's constricting it, not constricting, but it enables you to hold the air back so that you can
okay,
get
okay. So there's less of
yeah,
it coming
yeah.
out. Yeah,
Like how,
yeah.
with the saxophone creates resistance in your body. So when you play a note on the saxophone, it's creating resistance. So you can actually play. It's pushing back at you, but with the vocal cords, it won't. You can't. You have to create. So what? So this compression thing enables you to sort of manage your airflow
I see.
better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's just like yeah, letting less. Yeah, controlling how much comes out.
But apparently, the way you learn how to do it is really like there's just no way around it. You've got to make stupid noises.
Yeah.
I was watching this YouTube video where this guy was like, "Yeah, you're gonna want to sort of like go into a room far away from anyone to learn how to do this."
Yeah, 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 yeah. So what sounds okay? So it sounds like the saxophone prepared you for singing in a way that managing airflow. I mean, that's something.
Yeah,
Some
and
things.
so
Some things
it's,
should be obvious to me. I'm like, how did you make the jump from saxophone to singing? It's like,
well,
motherfucker, it's the same
yeah,
thing. What am I thinking?
well, I mean, I like I have well, I started like singing in like my own songs when I was like 29, but I've actually, I've sort of been singing since I was like 4.
Yeah.
So I've sung, I've always sung, but I was just sort of too. I had a really difficult time growing up through school
Yeah.
and and college and university, and just people can be very cruel, you know,
Yeah.
and so people's cruelness made me not want to sing. Uh, you know,
Yeah.
it's maybe not want to do it because I thought, well, the people are going to think my voice is ugly, or you know, or I've had, you know, like 25 years of people taking the piss out of
Yeah.
the way my voice sounds. So you know, it just built into me this sort of, oh well, that's something that's not for me then.
Oh man, so people, not just people picking on you, but specifically people who fuck with you about your voice, like
Oh yeah,
okay,
yeah, like oh, since like being in like what you call it kindergarten.
dark man, fuck
Yeah,
these people. What? But your voice sounds like, I mean, normal is a weird. I mean, I don't know. Do you have a specific? Doesn't sound weird to me. I don't know. What like what you mean, like the timbre of your? I hope you don't mind. I'm asking. I'm just like
yeah, 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 yeah,
I'm just like I'm really interested. I mean, obviously, I'm interested in cruelty, not perpetuating it, but just like just what's up with cruelty, you know?
yeah,
Or just and also just why people do what they do, like because like yeah, you don't have a particularly wild timbre to your voice. You have a particularly like there's an edge.
yeah.
There's like
It's the
a
edge.
flintiness, you know. There's like an
Yeah,
edge to it.
it's the edge, but you know, I th- it's just, it's just the way people sort of work. Just people are just fucking hard round here, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah, people just latch onto one thing.
yeah,
They decide
yeah,
that's ridiculous, even if it's
yeah,
not really
yeah,
particularly
yeah, yeah.
ridiculous. Yeah.
And there's other stuff as well, you know. Like I've got quite a lot of I've got some scars from surgery that are quite that they basically on one side here, you know, I look like I've been
Oh.
hacked open with a machete basically,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and that's from heart stuff to do with my heart,
Mm.
and you know, so that just it builds in a sense of, you know, you just you just feel like an outsider basically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Always
yeah.
feel like an outsider, and they're all so, you know, adding into the this sort of being mixed in you know in even in the 90s, you know, like in someone like Rotherham, you know, like forget about it, you know.
Oh, mixed, racially mixed.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Oh, you like Pakistani or Middle Eastern or
and
something?
my my dad's family came from India.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, just tough, you know, like so. But I would get it both ways. So I would get it off the the, the, the Asian kids and also the English kids. So I would get
Ah,
double, just both. Just
ugh. Yeah, yeah. I hear about that. I hear about that. Fucking brutal, man.
yeah,
So like, yeah, but like with yeah, it's like with the voice, like I don't know, I've said this in other streams, it's like the voice is your body, man. You know, it's like
yeah,
your body is the instrument, and it's like
yeah,
if people dislike your voice, it's kind of like they're saying like they don't like your
yeah,
fucking neck and
yeah,
chest, you know. It's like very personal, you know. And yet you're using your voice 24 hours a day to just exist in the world.
yeah,
If people are fucking with your voice, yeah, man,
yeah.
it's yeah,
But,
dude.
you know, it took a long time to sort of just be like, you know, up until I was nearly 30, you know, I was just like, well, I'm just gonna. Actually, I went to see Swans at the Roundhouse in London in 2015, and during that gig, I was just it's like I was so overcome with the power of music
Yeah.
that I was
Hell
just
yeah.
like, well, I'm gonna have to, because I was in a band at the time while I was at SIG, and then the next day, I just got up the next morning, and and I was just like rang the rest of the band up, and I was like, I've just got to go, I've got to do my own thing, you know,
Mm.
I've just got to go do it. I have to do it. I don't know how much time I've got left, you know, because
Yeah.
we all don't know how much time we have left, you know. So
Yeah.
you have to sort of do what's right for you.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, you know,
Mm,
late nowadays though, people do. they start stuff later, you know, like starting a whole new artistic direction like in your late 20s, like that's not really weird now. I mean, you know, like people do that. You know, I mean I started doing Extra Life late 27.
Mm.
Yeah, before that I wasn't. I was always singing along with Morrissey and stuff by myself, but I was never like you know, I wasn't like, oh, I'm a singer, I'm gonna do this for my life. You know, I was kind of like you. I was like instrumentalist,
Mm.
experimentalist
Mm.
person. You know, and it's, I don't know. Yeah, it takes a while to just like allow yourself to do things, man. It's like, you know.
But I found that once I'd made that decision and just decided to just open that door, it just all just sort of just yeah just poured in.
Yeah, man. Because
Yeah.
you're young still, right? What are you, like early 30s or something, or like?
I'm 36 in about a month.
Okay, yeah, right on. Yeah, so like mid 30s and stuff. Yeah. So it's like, right, it's like you haven't been doing, right, like the vocal thing is like somewhat new-ish.
Yes,
Um
like 7 years.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And you've got like cuz okay, so like right now you're working on, which I've heard, but a little bit of. Oh, am I supposed to say that I've heard it, or is it?
I mean, yeah, because I mean, I do send it to
Yeah,
send.
yeah. I haven't leaked it. Nobody, I haven't, you know. Yeah. No, 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 no. It's I've been talking about it to people. But like your next record, um no announced. Okay. Well, you've got a record in the works. Let's just
I've
say
got a
that.
record. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm working on a record at the moment.
Yeah. And I mean, as far as like you've got, yeah, you've got an EP like from the past few years, right? You've got the Disappear EP, you've got a bunch of singles,
Yeah.
right?
So yeah, yeah. So there's the Disappear EP, and then there's some other singles, and then what I did with that is I just collated that post into, so on Spotify, if you get the disappear if you get disappear thing, you'll get a 10-track album basically.
Right, right,
It's
right,
just
right.
you know, I just consider that a self-released, you know, record. And then there's the two standalone songs that Ben from Uniform mixed for me.
Yeah, 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 yeah. The Ben Greenberg treatment.
Yeah,
Huge, huge, very
yeah.
hard hitting sound. Yeah. Yeah, man, because that's like the yeah, like I just it seems like I said before. I don't know, this the songwriter, the electronic thing. It sounds like you've been doing it like forever. Like it's just because it's a very
Well,
like
I
unified
mean,
aesthetic. You know, like it's very like
yeah,
you know.
I mean, I was, so from my early 20s onwards, I was in this sort of group, this like weird sort of like avant folk, you could say, a group called Trumpets of Death,
Okay.
and we put out a record in this label Tin Angel, um, and so I had, you know, I had like it's like all the time working through that group, and that was the group that I ended up leaving. Um, all the time working through that group, you know, I was sort of producing and so it's like I was stoking up. You get what I mean? Like I was,
Yeah,
it was
like
all,
yeah, like that group was your like training ground as a producer,
yeah,
kind of. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Everything was feeding in, and then I like, you know, taught myself how to work Ableton.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And
Because you're very much a producer. I mean, this stuff is all the synth stuff. I mean, you had Ben like you know, whatever, run it through his
yeah,
stuff to, but like as far as the actual arrangement and the
yeah.
sonic thing, it's you know, you're the total producer composer. Yeah. Oh, what was like there was a thing you were a part of that I was interested in, because I'm also always just interested in where
Mm,
people are, just like scene wise, like how people came
mm.
up, like especially like this northern England vibe, like um, what was it? It was Islington
Oh
Mills.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Was
well
that like a
yeah.
collective or a school, or
Well,
what's Islington Mills all about?
well, so it's like it's a convert. It's an old, what it used to be a, I think during the Industrial Revolution, I think it was a textile mill or something to do with garments. I do know that. And anyway, it was it was dilapidated until like like the late 90s or the early 2000s, and then Bill Campbell was the person who founded Islington though as it is now. He took it over and floor by floor did it up, and then to the point where it was just sort of just hundreds of artist studios.
Yeah.
And there was a nightclub on the bottom floor and a gallery space, and I moved there in 2016. Yeah, I mean, really incredible. You know that band Nod?
GNOD.
Yeah, so they were there when I moved there.
Right on.
They,
So yeah,
sort of, you know, the whole scene there was sort of the reason. You know, I just thought there's nothing like that existed in the UK, or probably will exist. You know, you had all these musicians sort of there.
yeah, sharing
And
ideas,
yeah,
marinating. Yeah,
and
man.
designers, you know, just in close proximity.
Is that like state funded? Is that like a thing or not so
Um,
much?
no. I mean, like recently they've had to change it up. So now that they've had to have quite a lot of refurbishment work done. So they're funded now by the Arts Council and the National Lottery.
Yeah.
So obviously, you know, you can't live in your studio anymore.
Oh, you used to actually live in your artist studio and stuff?
Well, yeah, on the down low.
Okay, well, yeah. Well,
You
it's
know,
over now. I guess you can admit now what you
yeah.
were doing. But no showers and shit. Like you'd like stay there and then like shower at like a
Yeah,
gym or
there was
something.
a shower. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So okay, yeah. Yeah, wild, man. That's fucking wild. Yeah, I mean collectives are cool. Yeah, it just seems like it seems like Northern England just has there's like I'm like just starting to discover like I don't know, it's like network of people like I don't know, like when Extra Life used to play in the UK, I played a couple dates in the north. We played like Hull.
Did you play
But we
the
did
Adelphi in Hull? I
yeah.
love that place. It's
That
great.
place is so sick. I wish we could have hit the Adelphi this time around, but it just like didn't work out schedule wise or whatever. But I don't know. I feel like I got a better sense though of the North this time, like hitting a bunch of towns in a row.
Hmm.
I love it, man.
Where was your favourite place that you went to?
Dude, I gotta say, well, okay. I think actually my favorite was Leeds.
Hmm.
Even though I guess technically the London show was probably the best if you like factor every factor into it, you know? But like Leeds was just sick because I didn't think anyone there knew like I had no reason to believe that anyone knew us one way or the other or remembered
Hmm.
extra. We'd never played there before.
Hmm.
Um and it was just there was like all these fans I didn't know would be there and like people singing the old songs and we were like I feel like we won over a bunch of just really interesting like the place we played Wharf Chambers,
Hmm.
you know, it was like I don't know if it's like this like year round or if it was just that night, but it was almost all like trans or visibly like like gender nonconforming, like it was, you know, like an LGBTQ like hang, like that was the hang. And so I'm like, oh, like, is this sort of? I felt like kind of like a guest, you know what I mean? I'm like, and I feel like that we like won over like a crowd that was there to see the opener, you know, who are like these ladies doing like amazing. Do you know Empress Maud and Seraphim Blush?
No.
I don't know. They were like the big. They were kind of like the big local draw, like who opened up like doing just like this amazing quadraphonic electronics music. But anyway, like they're like I felt kind of like not the main vibe there, you know what I mean? And it's like and we totally like won over people and just went over great. It's just a great fucking hang, man. I don't
Hmm.
know. So yeah, Leeds would be my top, I think. But London was like I don't know. It's always good to come and kill in the capital of a country, right? I mean, you know, that's like you feel like you're getting something done, you know. But where are you living now? Exactly, you're not living in Rotherham anymore. I forget.
Yeah.
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
Oh, sick. All right, so you're living where you grew up, straight
Yeah,
like you're
yeah,
just
yeah,
back. Okay, right
yeah.
on. Yeah, yeah.
At my parents' house.
Was that you're at your parents' house right now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh, really? You live at home in general,
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah, yeah.
dude?
The pandemic sort of was the thing that um, that like I was all set to sort of move out late 2020. So at the start of 2020, like New Year's week
Oh
2020,
man.
I played a show in London with my friend's band Gold, and uh, I was like, yes. But like, you know, New Year's Day, I was like, yes, it's a new decade. Yes,
Uh,
yes,
dude,
yes.
just
I was,
dashed hopes.
yeah, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to move out in October. Yeah. And then like 3 months later, like literally, like I had my birthday party at the Pier Hat where you played in Manchester.
Oh, sick. Okay.
Because I know the owner. He's a good friend. I always have my birthday party at the Pier Hat. Anyway, I had it there like literally 3 weeks before we went into lockdown, and like the vibe at this birthday party was like, it was
Yeah.
very like,
Yeah. God damn it, man.
yeah,
Dude, the worst of times.
yeah,
Um,
and then I was in. I mean, I literally saw my folks and the dog, and then that was it for probably 2 years.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I went on walks with my friend Rian Treanor, who's a musician, because he was living here at the time. So me, Ryan, and his parents would just go and walk in the forest, and then that was like my only
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
outside of the house. Yeah, it was really
It's just
really
brutality.
difficult.
Well, see,
Like
that's like, man. Yeah.
I had
Go ahead.
like two close friends. Um, like came over on like two on a few separate occasions to see me, like socially distance, like outside, but that was it. You
Yeah.
know, just,
Yeah. Yeah.
just
Yeah.
it
It's
was
fucked,
really
man.
really
Did
taxing.
see like that? This is. I'm interested just even hearing you say that you had your birthday party in Manchester. Cause
Mm,
see, this is what I'm kind of like picking up on, this like unified kind of community like
mm,
across northern England. Cause like I mean, like I have friends in Philadelphia,
mm.
but like I don't go and have my birthday party in Philly. Like, you know what I
Oh,
mean? Like I
oh,
don't have like there seems to be a really cool like exchange going on or something, right?
oh well,
Like,
so what? So I mean, the thing about the north of England is it's like, so like yeah, so like, I would, like, you know, I made a Facebook event. This is when I was on Facebook. I'm not on there now. You know, I would have a Facebook event for the birthday party and just and invite. You know, it wouldn't just be friends in Manchester that I would invite. Like everyone would get invited to that party, and you know, because like for me to get on the train from Sheffield to Manchester, it takes 50 minutes.
oh, it's a train thing. Okay, well,
Yeah,
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 that's what we're looking at. See, I'm like neglecting obvious shit. Like, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
and
It's like I'm
obviously like
because like a
uh,
3 hour drive, right? Isn't it like 2 or 3 hour drive, like something like
mm,
that? I mean, if you were gonna drive, it would be like 3 hours, right?
yeah, and I would like, you know, I would either stay over or I'd just get in an easy hotel, which is like 80 quid a
Yeah,
night.
yeah, yeah. No, but it's the trains that enable this, man. This
Yeah,
is
totally. I
what.
mean, like, I
Yeah,
can go to a show in Leeds or Manchester and not have to. If I really want to, you know, I can do it and make the last train home.
yeah, 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 yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's so easy to go to shows. You can even, and I've got friends that have done this. Uh, a friend that lives in Rotherham, and you know, they played a show at Cafe Hotel and just got the last train home from out of London, going
Yeah.
up north at like 11 o'clock at night, and they've been back at home in Rotherham for like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Dude, yeah, we need trains in the
yeah,
States. It's what are we doing over here?
yeah. Because I don't know where I saw this. Like a couple of months ago, I actually saw a map of the rail network, and it's ridiculous. It's like the whole middle of the country. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah, you
this.
can't do it. Yeah, you can't do it. I mean, and even on the coast, it's like it's not really that. I mean, you can take a train to Boston, but
Is
it's
that
like
why everyone flies then?
yeah, oh yeah, definitely, man, definitely. I mean, or drives, dude. You know, it's like yeah. I mean, people do these solo tours around Europe just on trains. You know, if all you have is an acoustic guitar or you know like a saxophone or whatever. Um, yeah, these things affect. They really affect things, man. It's like I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I mean, that's just yeah. If I was ever to come to America, that's just an extra cost that you
Oh,
have to.
dude, it's so. Have you ever toured the states at all?
No,
Or
I
you
would.
did with Siege, right? Or
No. That was Europe.
oh, it was your okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if I'd recommend. You know, like our drummer, Extra Life drummer Gilles. You know, he's Belgian, and so we're doing this long distance tour, and he's so psyched to do the states. It's like, oh, I want to do the states. I'm like, I don't think you do, man, because it's like, do
No,
you? I mean,
I've got quite a few friends that have done long haul, states like driving to, and they're just like it is a fucking slog.
yeah, I mean, it's just this part of this great tradition, you know. So you like you're thinking about Black Flag the whole time that you're like
Yeah,
driving the
getting
nine
around.
hours, like trying to justify it in your head.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
like thinking about the greats that did it before you. But yeah, man, I but see, like this is what I was loving about fucking England this time is that things are close. You've got people who will travel to shows by
Mm,
train, which I hadn't thought about, but I was like, oh, okay, that's why we're seeing the same people in London as in Liverpool, you know, these things. But there's also different people who come. Like, it's actually worth playing both towns and stuff, like Liverpool and Leeds. I mean, even though they're close, even though people
mm.
travel, it's also worth playing both. I mean, do you do this? Is the South any different? Is there a divide, North and South? Or
Oh,
like,
I mean, there's an insane divide. I mean, what do you mean, like economically?
oh, well, I mean, we could talk about that. I actually meant more just like scene wise, like
No,
playing
no,
down
no,
there,
no,
like
no, no,
musically or whatever. I mean,
no. I mean, it's pretty unified. I would say in the UK.
yeah, you play Brighton just as much as you play Lee or close to it. You get down there, Bristol and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know Izzy from Dear Leica? You know her? She's in or near Bristol or
No,
near
no.
London. Oh man, she's awesome. She's in the Discord server a lot. That dude, Dear Leica, her project, dude, she is. You would be. I'll send you some of this stuff, man.
Cool, do.
It's some of my favorite. I mean, one of my favorite people that we played with on this tour. She opened for us in Bristol, man. Really sort of medieval-ish influenced kind of dreamy, strange, vocal-based music, but you know, with crazy production and stuff. It's yeah, man. Man, not just blowing smoke, man. I really just UK this time around. I was like, I knew France would be cool because it's just like always was our best place, but like, dude, UK was it's like it really was above and beyond. I'm looking for questions in the comments. Have you been? There aren't a ton of comments.
Ooh.
Have you checked on the side, Carl? If
What's
you
he
go to
doing there?
if you click on comments, there's like, yeah, people aren't really. What's up, Yepa? Yeah, people approving of
Hey,
yes.
sorry, it lagged up then. What did you say? I didn't.
Oh, I was just saying there's a comment section on the side. Have you
Oh,
checked that out? The
oh,
comments.
yeah. It sounded like you were in the Matrix then for
Oh
like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
30
yeah.
seconds.
That happens periodically. Yeah. Um, but yeah, man. Like, oh, you want to tell? Okay, let's plug. Let's get back to your work, man. What's up with the so? Okay. There's the record that we don't want to announce the details, but then there's the other project related to your London set that you're talking about doing. Is that what?
Yes.
Can we talk about that? Because that is interesting to me.
Yeah. So what I want to do, I mean, I recorded the London set. Well, Cafe Oto recorded the London set for me, and I'm not going to. That's not going to get issued. But what I do want to do is go into go into into a recording studio and record like a sort of a collection of songs, completely acoustically. You know,
Yeah.
so I'll play acoustic guitar and saxophone, and I'll get the two string players that play with me, and a double bassist, and possibly someone on piano as well, and
Right.
just do
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe
Because you. Yeah.
maybe I might actually maybe I might even play clarinet as well to give it a real chamber
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah. 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 Because
Mm.
that was like, I mean, to hear those songs taken out of the synth realm,
Mm.
you know, that's like really, I mean, that goes even deeper on just being a singer and
I mean, it was
songwriter,
really
man.
terrifying. It was
Yeah.
like before I did the gig, I was like about a month before, I was like, okay, what's the most terrifying thing that I can imagine doing for this show? And I was like, right, well, singing the songs with an acoustic guitar, which is something I've never done. You know, I've
Yeah.
never got up on stage and just sang, and played songs. It's always been loud, electric music.
Yeah. 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 And electronic. I mean, your stuff,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
production
yeah.
is such a big part. Yeah. See, I respect this, man, because you're talking about like, you're talking about how it took you a while to face the sort of I guess fear or whatever, or sort of, you know, of being a singer at all.
Mm,
Then you start doing it, and you're not even hiding behind a bunch of effects. It's like full on like belting and shit.
mm.
And then you're like, I'm gonna strip away even the electronics and just go
Well,
full.
that's why I wanted to do it. That because I was like, can I just do it? You know, and my voice, and to be honest, my voice wasn't really that. That we did a run through of the set in the Cafe Auto project space, and I just nailed every single note in
Yeah.
full voice, and then I think doing that run through and going like ah, you know, like just it just wrecked my voice.
Oh, you think you went a little too hard at the rehearsal? Yeah, I've been
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
I've been there. Yeah, no, I mean it sounded full on, but yeah, I know what you're saying, man. Like
But I really like the idea of sort of deconstructing things and sort of, because the thing with a lot of music is that it's very easy to get bogged into the surface elements of what it is, where there's actually, you know, the deeper thing is that it's just fucking. I'm sorry, I keep swearing.
oh,
On
you can curse on this, dude. I mean, have you
Yeah,
watched the other streams? It's like, I mean,
it's just fucking. It's just notes, you know. It's notes in time, notes timbre in time.
yeah, man, yeah, yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
not saying that notes have to mean something that's locked into 12 equal temperament either, you know. I just mean pitch, you know,
yeah,
frequency in time.
yeah, yeah. No, totally, man, totally. I'm thinking about doing some stuff like totally unplugged. Like I want to do when I get back to New York. I'm gonna do some stuff that's like chamber and like not even mic'd, and like
Oh yeah,
possibly just acoustic guitar and like singing without a mic. Because yeah, when we
yeah.
played Sheffield, we did
The acoustic.
well. It was acoustic. It wasn't really though, because it was like me and Toby plugged in DI into a PA
Mm,
and had it at like barely any volume at all, like
mm,
really quiet. And then Timba played, you know, viola on unamplified, and I sang unamplified,
mm.
and Gio played drums with like his fingers and stuff. So it's kind of like, I mean, sort of unplugged, but like, but unamplified voice is like fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That's like, yeah, that feels very different. Just yeah,
Well,
just
that's actually how you. That's how you. How I think it's really useful as a singer, even if you're never going to sing unamplified in your life. I think it's really useful to learn how to be a loud singer completely unamplified.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, totally. That's the. I mean, we were doing quiet stuff, so I didn't have to belt. That's what I'm talking about. Powerhouse style, man. You know what I
But
mean? Like
you
you're
know,
like a belter.
even if you're like singing along to records, you know, like that was actually something that really sort of built up. You know, when I got to the point where I can sing louder than the hi-fi. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Being completely unplugged, then you know you're getting into a, you know, because that's all captured on a microphone. You see, the
Yeah, yeah,
microphone's
yeah.
only going to capture what's there, so you need, you know, it's got to. You need to have all the over. You know, music's essentially just overtones. All sound is overtones and harmonics. So you need that. That needs to be, and that's something I've actually carried over from saxophone, from studying woodwind, you know, into all other aspects of music, like voice, production, thinking about harmony as well. You know, it's all about the overtones and how the overtones sort of mash up
Yeah, 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 yeah,
with
yeah.
each other.
With like
You know, like
synthesized sound, there's
yeah,
so many, it's so rich, it's so overtone rich and just kind of grainy and stuff, a lot
yeah,
of the
and you know,
synth stuff.
like Glenn Branca, and you know, that was a really big thing for me. You know, getting into Glenn Branca and Rian Treanor when I was at university was just huge. Like life, I'm talking like life altering thing to hear. It
Yeah,
completely changed my perception. Yeah, it altered the way that I perceive harmony totally.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like really. I mean, if you think like you know, when you studying composition and theory, you know, when you're young, you like Bach and and contrapuntal lines, how contrapuntal lines interweave. That's a very big thing for you when you know when you're sort of young to get over that hurdle.
yeah. Well,
To
that's almost, I mean, some people say that's the essence of the Western canon
you
is
know,
managing polyphony,
yeah,
right? Managing
to
multiple.
be able to be able to perceive that abstractly in your brain when you're audiating, you know, it's a really huge hurdle. Um, and but and then when like getting into like Branca and Reese Chatham, completely just it's like that just added on a whole of a layer to what was already there because
Yeah,
I think they've you know, you get a few people who maybe snob, um, you know, like they might be like snobby, they're like, but actually, you know, what Branca did is he took he took the counterpoint to a point where the music was turning inside out of itself. So he wasn't dealing with individual lines.
yeah.
He was dealing with the lines that are above the lines.
Yeah, yeah, the certain like just the way overtones interact, and
Yeah,
it's like a polyphony, like way
yeah,
up
and
high
then
of multiple.
yeah.
Yeah,
So it's like you like broke it basically.
yeah, 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 yeah. There's like, yeah, I think when you study music, there's like this.
But
You're
he didn't break
supposed
it.
to.
He didn't break it in a way where you know when I say broke it, that's not like I mean he like broke through. He broke. I think that he broke through the limits of that of what you can do with that tonality. He like put
Yeah,
further. I think in like 100 years time he's going to be looked at like it'll probably go Stravinsky and then you know what and I think like Branca is he's within
yeah,
reach.
okay, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm definitely a fan, man. Definitely a fan. Yeah, I'm gonna have to revisit. I mean, it's definitely like yeah, like on some like spectral like overtone stuff. Do you get down with like Grise and Murai and like those guys, like that '70s like the spectralist composers
Oh,
and stuff
who's
like.
the guy I really like? Actually, I'll just go into my iTunes and find it. What's he called?
I'm thinking the French spectral dudes like Grisey. Really,
Um,
Murai and Grisey are the sort of like, I mean, those are the guys from that I know.
Horatio Radulescu.
I've heard, okay, yes, yeah, he's been recommended to me. He's been recommended to me like alongside these other, yeah.
Yeah. A piece of his is called Clepsydra, which is it's just amazing.
Yeah, Radulescu. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like yeah. I mean this stuff where it's like it just becomes about overtones and like
yeah.
and the upper levels of like timbre and stuff. It's
Mm,
like yeah, like I was gonna say when a person when you study music theory or when like traditionally it's like yeah you get taught that like harmony and melody are like this one thing and
mm.
then timbre is like this other thing that you put on top of it.
Yeah,
But
but
it's
it's
like what?
totally
But
not.
once you get deep, yeah, like once you realize like what
They
the
both
overtone
inform each other
series.
like a figure of eight, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's like just yeah. Once you realize that like harmony is just dealing with the overtone series,
Yeah,
and melody, like in a vertical or horizontal way,
mm,
depending on whether it's melody or harmony. It's like
mm,
it's all one phenomenon.
yeah.
Like it's all like so. Yeah, I mean that Branca stuff. I haven't listened to it in a long time. I was listening to him a lot, like in college on
Mm,
record or on CDs, and then I saw um like one of the 100 guitar things live, and
yeah.
that was like so sick. I was kind of like I'm this like seals the like you know what I mean. That was like this completes my Branca worship or
I mean,
whatever.
I never got to play with Glenn, but I wanted to, and I would have done it if he'd have ever come back to the UK to do one. But I did get to do Reece Chatham's Crimson Grail
Yeah,
in Liverpool Cathedral.
yeah, that's the place for it in a
Yeah, and
church.
that
Yeah.
was just. I mean, that's like in my. I don't even want to say top 5 gigs I've ever played because it's like one. I think when I'm on my deathbed, I'm going to be hearing that music. Do you know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? It's just like, and obviously, that piece. I bought that CD when it came out in like 2006 or something. It was such a life altering piece for me. So to actually be inside of that piece, you're in it with other people and you are the piece. It's such a life changing. Yeah, like I felt like I was able to see into that music and extract things from it way more than just from listening to the record.
Yeah, I don't know the piece actually. The
Oh, it's
Reece
beautiful.
Chatham Crimson Grail
Crimson
is,
Grail,
is
yeah.
is the Reece
For
Chatham piece. Okay,
400 electric guitars.
400.
Yeah. But we did it was for 100, but the actual recording, which is on Table of Elements, is for 400.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fucking wild, man.
yeah.
That is. um, let's see what we got. Comments wise, questions. Well,
Is there any
Yepa
other
wants to know.
question?
Yeah, Yepa wants to know how much do you rely on your monitoring when you record compared to singing out loud. I do I do this one headphone on, one headphone off.
Mm.
Pretty standard. I don't know. What do you
Um,
how do you do it,
I
Karl?
I vary between the one ear on method to actually doing something where I'll sort of I'll like put the mic sort of off. So it's off. I mean, you can't see, but basically my laptop's in front of my speakers here. So what I will do is I will route the entire mix. Uh, I'll make it mono, pan it completely to the right speaker, roll off the bass, or roll off enough. I'll roll off the sub so it's not picked up by the microphone, but enough for the bass so that I can still hear, so I can pitch to it.
Yeah.
And then I'll mute things that have got a lot of treble information in them. like snares and stuff. Anything that's going to pick up on the microphone that's going to interfere with syllabants, I'll mute off, and then I'll have the track playing low level through one speaker here in the corner, and then I'll just belt along to the track.
That's a really valuable, that
Like
I've never done that. Everyone write that down, because that sounds like a very
that's how Peter Gabriel does his, and quite a lot of singers, people like Bono, they like track a lot of their vocals with just one of these, an SM58A.
Yeah.
Making sure it's a 58A, because the 58A is the live, no, beta 58A is the live version of an SM58, and that's got a lot of off-axis, side-axis rejection.
Okay, good to. I did not actually know about that. That the A, I didn't know what that was.
But anyway, I've just found that I can pitch. So a lot of the vocals on my EP disappear. In fact, all of the vocals on my EP disappear were tracked like that.
Yeah. I mean, because then you're singing into the air. I mean, you're singing like you're singing. You're not with this weird feedback into your ear.
I find it too constricting.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is
even tracking saxophone as well. Like it's really, really annoying having to track saxophone with headphones on. I find it really, really just hinders the vibe.
And there's latency, even if it's micro, there's latency, even if, so if you can't, even if you don't consciously notice it, you are a little bit,
yeah. I mean, and a lot of things like, there's just a lot of tools now that a little bit of bleed, like having 0.2 of a decibel in the background of your vocal track of the track there is not going to affect.
It's not going to show up at all. Yeah,
it's not all. As long as you mute the things that are very, very sparkly,
snares, snares and high sparkly keyboard stuff, right, because it's the sibilants, the S's and stuff like that are gonna get fucked with. If you have snares in bleeding in there. Okay,
snares have a lot of transient attack to them as well, so you don't want them stomping all over your consonants.
And sub bass and stuff. So you want like, so the mid-rangey stuff. Mid-rangey stuff is okay to have in there. Because that bleed won't fuck you up as much, and you and you can pitch to that. Yeah. See, this is good. See, you guys, you get this like very practical. That's one of the most practical like trick, just like pro trade secrets that I've probably ever had on this stream, man.
And with like writing as well, like. I find that when you try and write music, it always makes it harder to write music when you're trying to write music. You get what I mean?
No, wait, say more.
Well, like a lot of the times, I just try and put myself into a space where I like try and get out of the way as much as possible. Like I really try and get out of the way and try and hear something that's clear, that's not got a lot of fat on it. Like a really clear lines.
Okay.
Trying to find the clearest line that I can, and does it sound like it already exists, basically?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. This I relate to. Yeah.
Like it's there.
You're saying when you that's when I come up with yes when I come up with good stuff, it feels like it's already there, discovering something. You're not making something, you're just channeling something, or it's just something that objectively exists. No, absolutely. You got to start from a certain place of
question. How much
stillness.
How much do you double? What, in terms of like double tracking vocals? Do you mean?
Probably so. Yeah. Yep. It wants to know.
I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. I like to stack. I like to stack. I really do love a good stack. I'm a keen student of Peg. Peg.
Wait, what track is that? Wait, Peg is.
It will come back to you.
Oh,
Peg. It
yes,
will
yes.
come back to you. I've seen it all. It's your favorite foreign movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
I yeah, I double quite a bit too. I mean, it's just like gives a little, except on really quiet songs where it's supposed to be super fragile. And unless it's supposed to be really fragile, I double it pretty much.
Yeah. Like, yeah. I won't just double just for the sake of doing it. Like the song has to necessitate, a choir of people.
Yeah. I'll do stuff though. I'll be like, a lot of the time I'll have a double that's just way quieter and just not really panned off in any just a little bit,
Mm.
just panned off a little bit and like not very loud, but just
Mm.
gives it a little thickness or whatever.
Mm.
Do you ever fuck with that vocal exciter? Because I know that's like maybe like Phil Collins, Peter Gabriel. It's like very much like vocal exciter type stuff, right?
What's I mean, like saturation, I use like loads. You
Yeah,
want about saturation?
I'm thinking about, well, I'm more asking about something that I've heard of, but I don't know what it is. People are
Vocal
talking about
exciter.
like an oral exciter or vocal exciter.
No, I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
know what that is.
I don't know. Someone was Timba,
Saturation.
Timba from Extra Life was talking about yeah, he was we were actually listening to some Phil Collins like in the club when we were setting up, and he was like, yeah, listen to that vocal exciter sound they use. I don't know. Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, maybe you don't need it. Maybe you're excited enough. Maybe your vocals are.
I mean, I like, because I mean the curse of the scarified vocal cords is actually the blessing when it comes to being able to mix my voice, because it will just zing out.
Yeah. No, your voice
Almost
cuts, man.
regardless of what microphone I use. But I can use this, which is, it's a bog standard mic. I can use the SM7B, which is the Michael Jackson microphone, or this condenser. All cheap mics, all under 300 quid. You don't have to spend a lot of money at all. But like, I can sort of use any microphone really.
I guess maybe you can. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that's like, yeah. I'm always I've never recorded with a 58 actually. I mean,
I mean, honestly, like I've got my best vocal sound using this.
Is that yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I guess different.
There's something about the way in which it's sort of it's not an overly hyped sounding microphone. So for me, it seems to it treats the top end of my voice quite sweetly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, just a lot of things just handheld.
Yeah.
Just like with headphones on or with it through the speaker, just like going through it like punched out.
Yeah, I may see. Yeah, it might be cool for me to experiment with different mics, because I'm always using the one that I usually use for the podcast and for vocal recording is the this guy, the AT450.
Oh yeah, the Audio Technica.
Yeah, and I mean that's like, it's very very clear sounding kind of condenser mic. Yeah, but I mean, I wonder for louder stuff, for like louder singing, if it might actually be cool to use like a directional, mic.
Trent Reznor used one of these on quite a lot of the Downward Spiral and the Fragile. I know he used a condenser on some of the tracks, but yeah, a few of the vocals were a lot, I think. I've listened to a podcast which is a deep dive on the downward spiral and fragile, and yeah, I heard
Yeah, yeah,
this
yeah.
this microphone.
Yeah, I may. All right, so that's the 58A. This is so sick. I did not at all think we would go like deep on tech stuff. It's like this is actually
Oh,
like
someone else asks, how large are the chunks you typically record parts in? Well, what I will do is I go for free. Try get it in one. Go for free. That's it.
you don't comp together too much.
No, just
Interesting. Okay.
try for one go for free. If I can get, because then you tend to get whole lines. I mean, a lot of things like yeah, just a few things have been doing. Like I think Mechanical Star God was one.
One take the whole way through.
Yeah, I had a scratch vocal that I did just sort of so I could hear the song, and then I just did it. The high bit at the end was done speakers.
Yeah.
So I could pitch it properly because I mean that's like. I mean that you're talking like I had to just drink water for a day to be and no food to be able to hit. I mean it's a D. I think the last note at the end of that song, the sort of closer to gold bit, it goes up to the that's a D above high C.
Yeah, like more than like a D in the treble clef, like the third line or the
So it's
the fourth line of the treble clef.
That D there.
That's high. That's very very high. Yeah, and you're not even really doing falsetto either.
No, I managed to get it in full, but like that was literally I had to just get that in one take, or else I'm done for the day.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, doing like the larger chunks you do, there's a vibe continuity. I've been doing larger and larger chunks as with each record over my career. I mean, in some of the earlier Extra Life, like on Made Flesh, I just got it's like Frankenstein syllable shit. And
well, like
I mean, like doing, yeah, I mean doing like doing like 3 or 4 takes, then comping together the best shit from each take, and then even punching in like words and syllables, like stuff that you don't necessarily notice, like you don't notice that it's comped together, but
well, yeah, I mean.
I think it, even if you don't consciously notice it, it creates a certain vibe, which I'm less and less trying to have that vibe. I try to do bigger and bigger takes. So now, I mean, yeah, I don't do whole takes through I'll record takes through an entire song, but I don't necessarily insist on keeping. I'll comp together, stuff, but not like line for line.
No,
I'll do it like verse by verse, something like that, or like couplet by couplet, I guess, like
I really like to treat it, and I don't know whether this comes from studying jazz, but I like to treat it. It's like I wouldn't, I mean, obviously, yeah, I do. Like when I chop up and edit, I'll chop up bits of saxophone improvisations to then create something that's got continuity. But at the end of the day, I'm chopping up improvisations there. There's nothing wrong with that. You're getting little bits of vibe all put together to create a vibe. So the way I like to treat the vocal is to not chop it up too much, because you've got to think of it. It's like someone playing a trumpet solo, or it's like, and especially the way I sing, because it's I feel like it's sort of idiosyncratic. So I don't really put it up. I don't want it to be a robotic thing, is what I'm saying. That's why I sort of refuse to tune.
Oh yeah, yeah. You don't use it. I definitely do a little. I'll auto tune given syllables. I do that shit. Depending on what. Simple answers, not so much at all actually. But Psalm Zero stuff, I'll actually do a lot of comping for the
Mm.
purpose of so for a robotic kind of sound.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like especially if it's highly doubled. If something's like a
Mm.
really conspicuous double, and it really doesn't, it's not supposed to sound like one
Mm.
guy, and it's like that kind of cold, detached thing. I'll start to really tune syllables and stuff there for sure.
Well, I was doing some work earlier today, and I was like, oh, I was just getting frustrated, and then all I did, I was like, well, I'm just gonna drop in and just re-record those two lines. And the good thing about having ha, having a setup that enables you to do that is something that's good. So if you consistent with the mic that you use, then you can, you know. And this, we're talking like 3 months later. I've decided to drop in on these two lines just to sort of nail them.
Yeah, yeah,
You know.
yeah, totally. Um, let's see. Okay. Oh, AS wants to know, did you mention a Last Things Discord earlier? There is totally a Last Things Discord, friends. I'm gonna drop an invitation. I think most of these folks are already in the Discord, but yeah, I'm gonna drop a Discord invitation link in the comments here. Um, because it's a good hang, and there's some new blood too that's been coming through. Um, well, I'll drop it in. I'll drop it in a couple minutes. Let's yeah, I think an hour and a half. Let's call it an hour and a half. I feel like we could go forever and ever, but
Well, yeah.
I'm trying to trim these down from like 3 hours. For a while it was going for three, and it's just like I don't know. It's a bit. It's actually it costs a lot to host. It costs too much to host 3 hour things on the
Oh, really?
site. So I'm trying to keep it under two. But yeah, man. Any final things you wanna leave folks with before we split? I don't know. Any final? Feel like we've
Yeah. You can find my work if you just Google my name. You know you'll be able to find it, and it's there.
yeah, yeah,
What I
the
would say
Bandcamp.
is,
Yeah.
is that you could. There's a project that I'm also involved in with a friend of mine, uh, which is called Vanishing, which I think is a really interesting project.
I
He's
saw
a
that.
spoken word artist, but he's someone who I think personally is a genius with how
Cool.
he
What's
deals with words and stuff.
what's what's his name? Or
The project's called Vanishing,
hmm oh,
and
okay. So yeah, like and he
yeah,
and the artist doesn't. He just goes by Vanishing. That's the
yeah. Gareth Smith is the guy's name. Yeah,
Garrett Smith. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, sick. Yeah, yeah. Is he from your area too?
He's actually from Hull.
Ah,
I
nice.
met him in Manchester. Yeah,
Dude, Hull was so sick. I gotta get back to
yeah, it's
Hull, man.
great,
Cause
isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was like yeah. Well, that's where Throbbing Gristle formed, right?
Oh
Is
yeah.
yeah.
We did a performance there for the Hull city when it was Hull was the capital of culture, and we with Agat, Agat who played
Yeah,
violin.
I
Yeah,
got Max.
yeah.
Yeah, the
She
violinist.
played violin in Vanishing for this performance we did, and we were doing a 2 nights performance on 2 different nights in an outdoor amphitheatre. On the first night, it was a torrential storm, and we still played.
I love those kind of
It was like
gigs,
a, it
man.
was like a dance movement piece called 55 Degrees North, Five
Nice.
Degrees East, which I think you should all check out because it's a piece of work I'm really
All right,
really proud of.
Vanishing. I
Yeah,
love those gigs against all odds. They're so fun
yeah,
to like follow through on
yeah.
those.
And it was
Uh,
really cathartic because the subject matter is, really quite a really deep subject matter.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, sick. Oh, here's okay. I just posted an invitation link in the comments to the Discord server. Anyone who wants to join, click on that. Word. Well, dude, Karl, thank you so much for talking with me, man, and going
Mm.
so deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope everyone learned. I think everyone did learn quite a bit, man. Sick. Uh, and yeah, man, I'm gonna when's okay. Can't announce specifics, but
No, 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 no.
when is the next record coming out? Can you at least say when?
No, 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 no.
You
Don't
can't.
know.
Okay. So let's say Karl is continuing to record music.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
we could
yeah.
that this much we can say.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm literally finishing it. Like it'll be ready to mix within 10 days, I think.
Okay. Well, that gives a sense. Yeah, that gives some kind of sense. All right. Cool, man. All right. I'll talk to you very soon
Great.
online, I'm sure. Yeah. All right.
See you, Charlie. Thank you.
See you,
Bye-bye.
Karl. Thanks, man.
Bye.
All right, everyone. Yeah. Hit that Discord server link. I'm also going to I'm going to be dropping a Patreon. The Patreon is coming. Couple weeks. I'm going to have that out. And it's kind of going to be necessary for me if I'm going to really keep doing the streams and everything at this level and all the what do you call it? All the like educational, informational videos and stuff on the channel to keep that cracking at the real pitch that it needs to be. I'm gonna have to get some Patreon income coming in, so I'm gonna launch that probably in the next week or two. Word. Thanks. Yeah, Yepa. Thanks for coming by. Don't stop. I know. It'll. There'll be more. Tune in next week. Word. All right. Later, everyone.